Hello guys, welcome back, and today we're going to be talking about Hero of Remnant. This is certainly going to be an interesting episode to say the least. So yeah, let's begin, ladies and gents. So we currently see the rest of Team RWBY, including that of Izuku, because let me just say this: the spelling of Team RWBY is going to be different, because I forgot to say that in like a few episodes ago. Essentially, it's going to do like this: RIWBY. Yes, that's supposed to be the spelling, as it's definitely not annoying. Oh, anyway, continuing on, as we currently see the rest of Team RWBY, including that of Dr. Oobleck, flying towards Mount Glen. As while they're flying off, Izuku would say this to himself. God. Well, this is definitely going to be annoying to him. He would say that to himself. While saying this, one of them would say, or specifically one of the commanders, specifically our boy Gloxinia. Yes, I do have to agree. Though, it's going to be interesting. Especially since I have a great idea for a new ability of yours. Though I did copy it from a certain someone from my past. Izuku would ask, who? As he would look at him, or at least not really look at him, considering that he's not in the mindscape. He would more or less say, the new Fairy King. Surprisingly, his name, or at least his nickname, was King. Pretty ironic, don't you say? As after seeing it, Rex would just, not Rex, I meant Izuku would say, interesting. Though, as he would ask, hey, can I ask, Galland, please? As Gloxini would ask, why is that exactly? I wanted to ask him for a while now. About his commandment. Though it's quite useful, it's also quite dangerous at the same time, though activated. I think it's better to use that interrogations-wise, or as after hearing that, Galland would just scream out, "Don't you freaking dare!" As after hearing it, he would say, Why? I mean, it's definitely good for interrogation, but not in actual battle. I mean, it could definitely work, but as he would say, come on! I just want to have a good fight for once! Every freaking time! Every single freaking time you use either use Estarossa or somebody else besides me! I want my turn! After hearing that, Izuku would just look, not really look, but more like say this to himself. Yeah, no. As you would say, come on! As you'd say, fine. But it's only if it's an emergency. Your kit is definitely, or at least your fighting style is definitely not for me, considering that I'm not a fully armored demon. As after saying that, he would say, well, technically it's my skin, but as you'd say, either way, I'm not doing that. It's basically just like asking me to basically just run in fully on naked. As you'd say, fine. Well. But at least I get one single fight next time. As after hearing that, he would say, whatever. After saying that to himself, they would finally arrive at Mount Glen as they would get out of the bullhead. Doing so, as after they landed, they would start going out of the bullhead as our boy, our boy Dr. Oobleck would say, hello there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, or ladies and gentlemen, let's start moving out. It's gonna be dark soon, so we have to prepare a camp soon. After saying that, they would start leaving. As while they were leaving, they would hear the sound of rustling. Izuku and the rest of Team RWBY would look at Ruby's bag as not Rex, I meant Izuku, Oh boy, this is definitely gonna be interesting. Oh no, let's just start a counter then, boys. Okay, every time I say Rex now, in any of the videos that I'm going to be making about, you know, the rest of the, series that are not about Rex, you make a counter. Anyway, let's continue on. So, as Izuku and the rest of Team Ruby and Oobleck would look at towards the bag that was rustling, as Ruby would say, I can explain, as before she can, the corgi over here, aka Zwei, would come out. After seeing it, Izuku would ask, did you just, as, Weiss would be angry, saying, are you an idiot? Why are you bringing a dog here? And as while she was basically yelling at Ruby, Dr. Oobleck would grab the dog, as everybody would just think, oh shit, we're about to be expelled. As he would say, did you bring this dog? As she would say, yeah, I wouldn't want him to be lonely, so as you'd say, you genius, he would say, as everybody would just be confused. As he would say, this is a great idea, considering that dogs are quite talented in their senses, and not only that, can also be great guard dogs. This is certainly quite the interesting part. Oh, thank goodness. Now, as for you, Miss Rose, I'll give you at least 10 points for that idea. As after hearing that, everybody would just go like, did Ruby just, as Izuku would just say, I think she did. And so, after that, they would decide to just go towards, they would stop, doing that, and would start moving on. As now the lovable, Zwei is currently outside, and he's now walking around with the rest of Team Ruby and Oobleck. As he would say this, so, if you might not know, Mount Glen used to be a colony for Vale, until it was attacked. Quite the devastating affair, to say the least. Unfortunately, because of that, we had to make walls years ago to try and take care of the Grimm, so none of them can go in or out. In fact, we made these specific walls with the help of, and this is going to be for my AU, or at least this one, as he would say, with the help of Atlas. Though they originally used it as, and I quote, a spot to practice their weaponry, now they consider it as a great collaboration for both our nations, or kingdoms. After hearing that, both Izuku and Weiss would be proud, as he would continue on. Now, for us, let us try and find somewhere to camp. He would say, as while they were looking around, we currently see Izuku as... Izuku would just think, wait, why do I feel like something bad is gonna happen? While saying that, one of his commandments would say, Zeldris, please do not. Every time, I just think, yes, this is definitely going to be bad. Every time when you say that, there's definitely going to be something bad that's gonna happen. Hearing that, Izuku would say, I mean, you're not wrong, but at the same time, I just don't want to think about it too much. As I'll just say, thank you. Anyway, I'm starting to think, actually, I wanted to ask you, as Rex would say, yeah? As you'd say, I wanted to ask, are you still trading on your Hellblaze and your full counter? Hearing this, Rex would just, not Rex, I meant Izuku would say, yeah, I've been slacking on that. I mostly worked on my huntsman skills, so as you'd say, you're a half demon and you're not practicing your Hellblaze? As you'd say, I'm sorry, I did. As you'd say, I'm not mad. I'm more disappointed. Anyway, You're gonna be practicing later on, okay? And you also need to treat it a little bit more, considering that it's almost the Visto Festival, as you call it. As you'd say, yeah, got it. So, after saying so, they would finally arrive at the place. Or more specifically, where they're gonna be camping out for now. They would go inside of a broken down apartment complex as they would start setting up tents. After setting up the tents and also grabbing some firewood, starting up a fire, Izuku would be just sleeping on a nearby sleeping bag that's also right next to Weiss. I wonder why. So, as when they finally set up their sleeping bags, one of them would say, "So, mind telling us why you're sleeping next to Weiss, Izu?" As after hearing that, he would look towards Yang, as when Izuku saw her, he would say, I think it's probably the most logical idea. As she'd say, "Nuh-uh," she would say, as Izuku would say, "What do you mean, nuh-uh?" As she would say, "Well, obviously you should be staying with me. Besides, it's my turn." After hearing that, Nublik would say, "Your turn?" After hearing that, Izuku would just say, "Look, Teach, please don't tell anybody about this, please." As he would say, "Oh, sure. And besides, I like seeing interesting things happen to my students for a while now. I mean, I remember back in my day that, as after hearing that, they would think, oh crap, not those stories." As after a while of talking about his, past, like, deeds, not really that much, it's not really similar to, like, to a certain porty fellow, but it's somewhat boring. As when Izuku was done hearing that, he would say, "Alright, anyway, we should probably get some sleep." As Ublik would say, "Yes, quite the logical idea. But before that, I want to ask all of you this. What motivates you to become a huntsman?" Hearing that, everybody would stop, as he would say, "Yes, now, please start." Hearing this, Weiss would start divulging, saying that she wants to become a huntsman or huntress to, how do I see it? Ah, yes, basically atone for her father's misdeeds at the Schnee Dust Company. And as for Blake would say that she wants to make the world a better place and want to at least stop all of the mistreatings of the faunus. And not only that, wants to help her ex, which will not be told yet. As after saying that, they would look towards Yang, as Yang would say, "Oh, for me, I just like adventure," she would say. Hearing that, one of them would say, "Seriously?" As Yang would just say, "Yep." As they would look towards Ruby, as Ruby would say she wants to become a hero. I wonder how that would sound. As when Izuku heard that, he would say this to himself, "Damn, is this what I sounded like?" Anyway, as Obeka would look towards Izuku, as he would say, "Now, my young man, what motivates you?" As Izuku would say this, "I want to make my father proud. He's after all huntsman, what do you call it? He's after all a headmaster, and I want to make everybody know my name, not just as Ironwood's son, but as me. I want to protect everybody, even if it means sacrificing myself." Hearing that, Ulrich would say this, "Quite an admirable goal, child. Now, let's get some sleep. But for you, Ruby, you're gonna be acting as lookout. We don't want any grim after all." And so everybody would go to sleep. except for Ruby. And so, this is where we're gonna be ending off this episode. So, yeah, bye bye!